Hi, welcome back to yet another episode of House of Wellness. आज हम फिजिकल कंपोनेंट पर फोकस करने वाले हैं.
Today we have with us Dr. Priyanka Gandhi, who is a physiotherapist and rehabilitation consultant since the last 7 years. She is also a Pilates instructor and currently a freelancer. Welcome, Dr. Priyanka Gandhi. Thank you for coming to our show.
Thank you, Minazji, and thank you, Sonam, so much for having me over.
So, डॉक्टर, आई वांट टू आस्क यू कि हम सुनते हैं सीनियर्स में एक कॉमन प्रॉब्लम होता है, गिर जाते हैं. फॉल्स आर एक्सट्रीमली कॉमन. सो ऐसा क्यों होता है, और अगर ऐसा होता है, हाउ कैन वी अवॉइड, एंड इफ इट्स हैपेंड, हाउ कैन वी हैंडल?
Oh, that's a very good question, Sonam. What we have seen, मतलब हम जो देखते हैं, actually aging is very physiological. जैसे ही हम एज में बड़े होते हैं, our body undergoes certain changes. Now, this process can start as early as once we hit 30, but the changes will be seen when you reach 50 or even plus above that. अभी क्या होता है ना, हमारा बैलेंस जो बॉडी रखती है, there are certain components to that. You can say vision. Our eyes are one important sensory organ to keep the balance. The same way our ears. For example, there is a system called as vestibular system, which helps us balance. When we move our neck here, हम balance तो नहीं lose करते हैं, right? When we are crossing maybe on the signal, हम दोनों तरफ देखते हैं, then we balance, the body balances, and then we walk ahead. So that is one system. And the other system is somatosensory, which is related to your touch sensory and through the bones, joints, muscles, जहाँ से हमें balance का आभास होता है, you can say that. So now what happens is, as we age, all the three sensory systems go through a little degenerative changes. And that's one of the biggest reasons कि ये falls होना शुरू हो जाता है. Now, as you age, you can also see there is muscle stiffness increased. People have started having a lot of maybe say problems like diabetes, blood pressure, and a lot of other senior diseases that you can see is Parkinson's. So ये सारी diseases में और ज़्यादा क्या होता है, we can consider diabetes. The sensory, the vision की जो nerves होती है, the sensory legs की जो nerves होती है, as we know that वो weak हो जाती है. Now, when they become weak, the receptors जो, I mean, if we are changing a ground surface, तो वो जो balance का हमें sensation होता है, that goes for a toss, I can say. And hence, falls become more common. Like you and me know, maximum elderly patients may, when they fall, they generally start having fractures then, either at the hip or at the wrist. Now, why does this happen? Because the bone quality also undergoes some changes. And because of that, whenever they have a fall, generally on a slippery surface, उनका जैसे ही surface change होता है. For example, they're very easy on the daily activity like a ground surface, but the moment if they don't realize they're walking on water, या तो water, there is some water spilled over on the ground. The moment they land on the foot lands on that water, they just lose balance. They just can't sensorize that what's happening, and then they fall. So all these things are age-related changes, and they are bound to happen, maybe in some people sooner, some people later. But of course, like you rightly said, how can we handle it, or how can we avoid or correct it? That is one important concept that we all need to understand, that we can avoid or we can prevent, is what I can say, these falls. And we can definitely prevent the injuries that these falls can cause in our body. So when it comes to elderly, I would generally say exercise is definitely important. The nutrition part, I'm sure you cover it well. But when it comes to exercise, of course, it is important. Our muscles become stiff. For the balance and the sensory systems, we need to exercise. for our heart and lungs, we need to exercise. So a lot of aerobic kind of exercise we need to do. I can just maybe give you some little tips or examples. What we can do is when people start aging, first and foremost thing I would advise is start wearing most comfortable and proper fitted shoes. That we all don't consider it, but that causes a lot of falls. When you wear a proper shoe, your balance remains intact, your center of gravity, like something that is into our body, that remains in center. And if you are having a fall, you can hold and control your body little better than otherwise. So that is one thing. Uske alawa, there are a lot of other exercises which can be done definitely under supervision. But of course, once they are used to it, they can start doing things by themselves at home. Now, what I have also seen, Sonam, is when people age, they start losing their independence. And I really feel कि हम भी उसका थोड़ा सा हिस्सा है, because I think we don't have the patience. We give them a task and they won't be able to do it at the right time. And then we be like, okay, chalo hame de do, we will do it. And that impacts them because they are losing a sense of their independence. And then slowly they feel that I think I'm not adding anything to anybody around me. And that sense of inner, like not being well enough, that kind of hits them. So I also feel that jo bhi ho sakta hai, make them and start making them a little more independent in whatever and whichever way that is possible.
Right.
So I think that is one of the things. As I see back in like हमारे यहाँ पे India में, how often have you seen somebody carrying maybe a rollator walker or maybe a wheelchair to go to a grocery store or something like that? But when you see maybe in the other countries, when we travel, we have seen that these are very, very daily activity related tasks, and all the elderly are very happy doing that. I think we need to start normalizing certain things, that it is okay if somebody is on the wheelchair, and it is completely fine that they are using a walking aid to help themselves and nobody else. But I mean, I know it personally, because if I am advising it to my patient, what I get in response is, nahi hum ye use nahi karenge because log kya sochenge. I think we still have that imbibed in our heads ki I don't think I can go out with a walker, what will people think? Is it for them or is it for us? So I think we need to start normalizing these things here. And हमें सारी चीजें like, you know, we have to make it more easy for them.
Right.
And yeah, so that is what is going to help them boost their confidence. They're going to be independent, they're going to do their things, they're going to meet their friends a little more independently. And I think that's one of the ways which we need to look into when it comes to elderly population.
Thank you, Dr. Gandhi. Very well explained. You gave very detailed and clear explanation about the vestibular system and its role in falls. And yes, definitely very important point is about the shoes. Comfortable shoes
Yes.
are a must. It's a necessity. And
Yes.
yeah, I wonder why, like if you need glasses, you wear it and everyone wears it and that's okay. But if someone needs a hearing aid or a cane, then that's not okay. Usme log kya kahenge comes in every time.
Correct.
Absolutely valid. It happens to every senior. I think 8 out of 10 will
Yeah.
hesitate to wear a hearing aid or use a walking stick or a walker.
Yeah. Strange. I wish that this changes soon. Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. We need to start it. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe some more ramp-friendly grocery stores, जहाँ पे ये लोग easily
True.
just they can be accessible, right?
True.
So I think it should be both ways. when it comes to them also, they need to boost up, and in terms of community well-being also, we need to take care of certain things for them,
True.
because today it's them, tomorrow it will be us. So it's not an avoidable thing, right? We all are going to pass through the same scenes.
Yes. Another thing about falls and balance is also osteoporosis and fractures, which is very common in this age,
Oh yes.
which can be related to the balance and falls.
Oh, yes, definitely. So, osteoporosis is something when our bones start becoming porous.
Hmm.
Like, for example, you just take a building as an example. जब वो building का अंदर का हिस्सा खोखला हो जाता है, how the building kind of collapses.
Hmm.
The same way is with our bones and spine. When our inner building block material kind of loses its content or texture, our bones and the spine starts collapsing. So when it comes to osteoporosis, I generally ask like seniors that, do you feel that you have lost height? Because this is one of an important marker. We all know that, we were certain age ke hisab se we were this tall. And do you think that in last couple of years, have you lost that height of yours? So some people realize it that yes, they have, and honestly, some people don't even realize it. Yeah. So then what happens is, their posture becomes like relatively stooped, like they're here,
Hmm.
and when they are here, the center of gravity automatically shifts, and they will not be able to balance in which the other circumstances they would have been. So I think, so definitely osteoporosis is again related to fractures in a way that the moment the bones become weak or porous and they hit themselves somewhere, or they have a little fall or out of balance, the quality of bones is weak, and they just immediately break down. They just go into fractures. Now, at this age, a very important thing to note also is our healing also goes through changes. जो इंजरी पहले होती थी वो हील होने में it would heal faster, but at that age, even the fracture, be it any other muscle injury or bone related injury, it takes a longer time to heal. So it is important that we make them aware of osteoporosis, or of course there is medical management available, and of course there's a lot of physiotherapy exercises available. We need to start elongating them, we need to start making them aware of their postures. And the biggest benefits of exercises, the bones can become stronger again, their muscles can hold the body better. So why not? They can start doing, so all of non-impact activities is what I suggest. For example, like cycling, or pool, or like swimming, like pool therapy, pool exercises. So all these non-impact related activities definitely benefit them. And a lot of weight training, like resistance training or some body weight training. So usse kya hota hai, the bones and the muscles remain supple enough for them to keep moving easily, and they'll be more agile. So I think osteoporosis is one of the what do you say, biggest reasons that people start having falls and breakdowns of their bones. Now, for example, I just suggest very few simple exercises. Like somebody is sitting at home full day, like elderly, they just have limited tasks to do. So why not invest that 40 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour slowly into exercises? They just have to, like, maybe apna, they just need to hold the kitchen platform and just do some heel raises. So they are holding a support. They don't have anything to, like, fear of fall. They hold it properly, and then they just move their legs up and down, a little marching, a little side kick maybe. And so all these trainings will help them, or maybe just little sit down to coming up, which is a daily toiletry activity. So these are little functional activity trainings, which is definitely going to help them to control their body better. in terms of maybe sitting on the chair to getting up. Like we all know, they often, like, they just fall back. They just lose the tone of the body and they just sit anywhere they feel like, and they don't have the control to balance. So all these activities will definitely help them to avoid the falls and keep their balance better. Or maybe you can, one more a very, very important aspect is, like I explained, the vestibular and the sensory systems of our body. So how we train them is, we give them a different surface to balance on. Like ghar ka, we can just take a pillow. Now, when we stand on the pillow, even for us, like even for you and me, it's difficult, right? Because, oh, our body is now needing to adjust a little more. Our muscles are, they're behaving differently. So the similar kind of training is what we give to them, like balance board, pillow. There are a lot of other bobble board kind of activities in which we make them stand up and train for their balance. But all these difficult related tasks would definitely need supervision, and it's not advisable to, like, just for them to do at home. But the easy task is what, holding on to something and just maybe doing their leg activities, or maybe a little like a hand push up, or certain weights, or maybe just replace it with bottles. And all these easy tasks is definitely doable. Also, Manasji and Sonam, the new things that have come up is chair exercises. Now, a very, very easy thing, like a person, elderly, they are very mood oriented also. Some days they'll be like, oh, I'm very enthusiastic, and they would do all the activities. And some days they're like, no, I'm not up to it. Okay, let's do chair activities then. Maybe just holding on to the armrest and pushing it up and down, like lifting your buttocks up and down. It's an excellent activity for the legs, for your buttocks and core and hands. Everything is getting trained. Maybe a simple activity of ball catch and throw and kicking the ball. So all these, exercises which can be more fun loving for them is what we need to inculcate basically. And so these activities actually look basic, but they, in the muscles and the system and the nervous system, they create a lot of changes. So I definitely think we need to incorporate all these little routines into their lives.
Okay, that was wonderfully explained, very easily explained. क्या आप हमको एक रूटीन बता सकते हैं स्पेसिफिकली फॉर बैलेंस फॉर सीनियर्स जो घर पर वो कर सके इजीली?
Definitely we need to do that, because a lot of people who will have the access through, they can just surrounded by another ball. They just need to be around certain things. Then they can hold on to that and grip it well, and then just lift their heels up and down. Okay. Now lifting the heels up and down creates a lot of pumping action into the muscles of the legs, basically the calves, which is important again for them. So that is one exercise. Along with that, they can do some side kicks, like just kicking the leg on the side, kicking the leg on the front, kicking the leg on the back. So all these leg activities will help them. Or making some circles through the hip, doing the same thing on the other side. So when they are doing this, what we don't realize is they're standing on one leg through these exercises, which is automatically creating a little balance aid for them to be standing on one leg. So these exercises will help them. Again, holding on to the table and maybe just sitting down and coming up, sitting down and coming up. Now, this exercise is a very, very excellent exercise for your muscles like leg, quadriceps, hamstring, buttock, your core exercises like your muscles of the abdomen. All of them are going to work out. Now, the next thing, nowadays, a lot of therapy help is available. So there are a lot of bands and therapy bands, balls, which are available. I can just maybe give you short examples of holding on the band somewhere and just pulling it. So basically, this will be an excellent postural exercise for the upper back. and for their stooped posture. So they're just supposed to hold the band and pull it back. And if those are not available, we definitely have without any band exercises. We just need to start off this way. And then we need to just start off taking the hands a little more wider and pulling it back. And then we also need to do a lot of head exercises, because when our head is not lying in between our shoulders and when it is forward, our balance is going to go for a toss. So we come back again to a little chin neck pulling exercises just for our posture. And believe me, these little tiny postural exercises is going to help them to maintain better balance. Then again, coming to your chair exercises, like I explained, they just have to, like, pull up and pull down, which is a good exercise. All these exercises I would recommend to be done with the shoes on. So just when the leg is moving, the other leg has a better sturdy space to hold on to. The next part is to challenge a little more of the balance. We just have to maybe take a pillow, stand on the pillow, and just learn to be there. Let your systems, let your muscles just understand how it feels to be on an uneven surface. This is going to help them that whenever they are moving on to unstable surface, the body or the receptors automatically will develop in a way that they don't lose balance. So yeah, we've covered some basic exercises, some pillow exercises. Now, a very, very important part I can say is vision. When we cut off the vision from their activity, like maybe certain activities doing with eyes closed, this is going to be an excellent challenge for them. But at the same time, I wouldn't recommend it doing without any supervision. We don't want to create more problems. So if anybody is around and they're able to hold them or grasp them if they lose balance, that would be great. Learning it under a physiotherapist guidance would be great. So these are little balance exercises which they need to start doing, and I'm sure that they're going to be benefited out of the things that they will start doing for themselves.
Definitely.
Also, also I forgot to mention is a little bit of cardio, a little bit of pumping of the heart, or a little aerobic kind of exercises. So I can say they need to exercise all through the 7 days. 6 to 7 days will be an exercise routine, in which one day they may just take some weights and do certain activities. One day they can just do a basic walk or cycle. That will give an excellent pumping, and all the muscles are going to be worked out. The third day they can just do simple balance exercises, and then repeat the entire 3-day plan for the next 3 days. So it's, for them, it's not going to be like, okay, 4 days, if we don't do the exercise, my muscles are going to be fine. That's not going to be the case for them. So I would advise that they put a routine of 6 days through the week.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gandhi, for those detailed examples of exercises that the seniors can do. And they're so simple, but I'm sure they're very profound.
Yes,
and
they are effective.
Their balance and all. So thank you so much for coming to our show.
Thank you
And giving
so
us
much.
those
Thank
valuable
you.
tips.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you once again for having me over.
And cheers to wellness.
Cheers
And
to
cheers to wellness.
Thank you.